I promised to come live today for about 30 minutes to share productivity hacks that have changed my life or productivity hacks that have helped my life. And so I'm going to be live for 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to share 20 productivity hacks that have done wonders for my life. And I'm going to make it short and sharp so that we can go and do something else with our weekend. So hello everybody, welcome to this live session. 20 productivity hacks that have helped my life. I have tried to write them down so that I can run through them very quickly for you guys. The first productivity hack is for you to know what you want to be productive about. Where do you want to be productive? What part of your life do you want to improve? Is it your morning routine? Is it taking care of your home? Is it raising your children? Is it your career? You need to identify what part of your life needs to be more productive. And once you identify the part of your life that needs to be more productive, that is the part of your life you're going to start applying these hacks to. So that's the first thing. The second thing, which is something I swear by a lot, is using a to-do list. You need to have a to-do list. You need to have a daily to-do list that you use. What are the things that I need to do tomorrow? What are the things that I need to do in this coming week? Write it down and update them as you go. Now, your daily to-do list needs to be things that can be completed in a day, and your weekly to-do list needs to be things that can be completed in a week. I have used a to-do list for, 15 years now, and my to-do list is such a strong part of my life. If my husband, whose birthday is today, says to me, Roke, can you do this for me? He will make sure that I get to my to-do list. He'll be like, is it in your to-do list? Did you get it in? Is it there? Because once it's in my to-do list, it's getting done. So the second productivity hack that you want to have is a to-do list. Make sure that you are writing a to-do list. The third productivity hack is to make sure that you prioritize in your to-do list. So your to-do list is not just a list, it's a list that has to have priorities. What are the things that must be done? What are the things that should be done? What are the things that could be nice to do? So that you know that your must-dos have to be done on that day, and your should-dos, you can get them only after you have done your must-dos. So you have to use a to-do list. I like telling people that our attention span varies, and some of us have very long attention spans, some of us have very short attention spans. You need to work with your attention span. You need to know your attention span and work with it. There's no shame in having a short attention span. The shame or the problem is when you are working against your attention span. So work with your attention span. I learned to work with my attention span. I learned to work with my learning style. If you are somebody whose attention span is 20 minutes, then set an alarm to work for 20 minutes. And once you've done that 20 minutes, get up. If you are somebody whose attention span is 15 minutes, that's exactly how long you will do work for, and then you will get up. So you need to learn to work with your attention span and then be productive in that space that you have. And then once you've done that, you take a 5-minute break. Take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, take a walk around the house, walk around the office, go and get a cup of tea, go and get a cup of coffee, stand up. Because your attention span is done. And anything you do beyond that attention span is not going to be the best of yourself, because you are not respectful of your attention span. So one thing that's worked for me is I have learned to respect my attention span. Stay healthy. So the other thing I have learned to do is to sleep well. I love sleeping. I don't deny myself sleep because I know that you can't cheat the body. So one productivity hack that works for me is sleep. I don't even underrate power naps. If I'm working from home and I'm sleepy, I will sleep time in my diary or my calendar for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, and I will go and have a power nap. I will come back refreshed and ready to take on the rest of the day. So you need to respect sleep. You need to go to bed on time. You need to stop doom scrolling at 11 p.m. You need to make sure that your phone switches off. Once it's 10 p.m., my phone goes gray and I'm not able to do things, send messages or any of those things because it's 10 p.m. So you need to sleep well. That is an important productivity hack that a lot of us don't read. Saying no. Stop being so nice. Say no. Say no to events, say no to activities, say no to favors, say no to everything that's not convenient for you. And if you don't want to say no immediately, pause. Don't answer yet. You don't have to answer immediately. You don't have to reply immediately. Somebody has asked you to join your prayer at work. Pause. Don't answer that email immediately. There is no law or rule that says you have to answer every email within 5 minutes of their arrival. In fact, what you are doing is training your colleagues to expect immediate responses from you. And when they don't get that immediate response, that is when they will start disliking. That is when they will start reading meaning and start thinking, actually, this person didn't reply in 5 minutes as she would normally do, or he would normally do. Pause. Calm down before you reply that email. You can say no. It's a productivity hack. Because when you are able to say no, it frees you up to then dedicate time to the things that are actually important so that you can knock them out and you can achieve them. So saying no is an important productivity hack. Other one is to become tech savvy. Take advantage of every tool at your disposal. Some of you like to do manual work. And one of the things that has set me free is being able to use tools. If you are in PowerPoint, you need to be aware of the PowerPoint support tools that are there. If you are in Excel, be aware of the Excel support tools that are there. If you are somebody who creates content, you need to be aware of the tools that are available to support your content creation and use them. There is no award for doing things manually. There are tech tools out there. Some of them are free. Some of them you will have to pay a little bit. Decide which tech tool is worth paying for and which tech tool you only need to use the free version and get it. You need to be tech savvy to reduce the amount of time you spend executing activities, because there are so many things that you can automate, that you can do with tech tools that make your life easier and also allow you to give a slicker experience to yourself or to other people that experience your work. So productivity is improved with tech tools. I can't give you the names of all the tech tools that I use, but I have quite a few. For social media, I use Canva. I use ManyChats to create. For newsletter, I use Elastic Mail. There are so many tools that you can use online. It doesn't mean that you have to have a million tools that you're using at the same time, but it's very important that you are aware of the tools that can make your work easier and then use them. It's okay to be imperfect. So that's another thing. Stop chasing perfection. Stop trying to get it perfectly right. Just do it. Stop trying to do it perfectly, because that is something that is killing your productivity. If you see, or if you get the opportunity to watch my old YouTube videos, you will laugh, because what's going on here? What's she doing? Was I talking? Yes. Was I passing the message? Yes. Was my video perfectly clear and perfectly... In fact, the first YouTube video I made, I placed my phone on my ironing board and I just sat there and I made the video. I did not have lighting, I didn't have a stand, I didn't have all of those things, but I went ahead and made my YouTube video. Same thing with Instagram. I made my video on my phone. I didn't have a stand or anything. I just kept going. Even till now, my phone, my product, my everything is made on my phone. I'm not looking for perfection. I want to pass a message. I pass the message. Stop looking for perfection. Just try to do the work well and get on with it. A key hack for me with productivity is that I stopped chasing perfection and I started chasing execution. Get it done. Did I solve the problem? Did I answer the question? Did I provide results? Are the results viable? Can they be used for what they were required for? Bish, bash, bosh, you move on. Stop seeking perfection. Now, stop procrastinating. Stop postponing things. Stop asking yourself if you can push it to tomorrow, and ask yourself if you can bring it into today. One of the things that helps me to stop procrastinating, because I'm not seeking perfection. So I'm not afraid to start, because I'm not trying to do it perfectly. I'm trying to do it. It's not about... I didn't understand that. Stop listening to my conversations. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it well. Do it well. And once you know that you only need to do it well, you have a to-do list, and there are just 4 or 5 things on your to-do list, you will stop procrastinating. You will make it easier for yourself. If, for example, you need to call the plumber, when you're writing your to-do list, you don't say call the plumber. On the to-do list, you will say call the plumber, phone number, blah, blah, blah. You have written it there about the tap downstairs. So that when it's time to make a call, you will not procrastinate, because you've made it easier for yourself to make that call. So done is better than perfect. Absolutely. Thank you. So you want to do it. You don't want to do it perfectly. You just want to do it well. So stop procrastinating. If something needs to be done, just do it. Don't postpone anything till later. It has zero benefits. Just do it. You spend time on it quickly, you get out, there is no stress. That's another productivity act that works for me. When somebody sends you an email and you are angry, it's okay to type your reply, but don't send it. Type it. Type it in that moment. So to give you peace. But you must not send it. You have to sleep on it. You have to go away. You have to come back, read it again before you send. And then when you come back and read it again, you might realize you don't need to send it. Or the person that sent it, the situation might escalate. Other things might supersede that email you wanted to send. There might be some clarification. Somebody has corrected their impression. Things have changed. And you don't have to send that angry email anymore. I always say, read your draft, sleep on it, come back. Now, even when it's not an angry email, if you are doing work and you have finished the work, you finish the deliverable, don't send it at that moment. Sleep on it. Come back with fresh eyes the next day and read it again and see if you can pick up any errors in the work that you have done so that you can improve it before you send it. One productivity act that has really worked for me is keeping my workspace tidy. Whether it's in the office, whether it's my workspace at home, it's keeping it tidy. Don't pile things all over your workplace and say, I know where everything is. No, it ruins your productivity. It makes it harder for you to concentrate and focus. It makes it harder for you to find things. So keep your workspace tidy, even at work, especially at work. Tidy space, tidy minds. Keep your workspace tidy. Another hack, do the hardest things first. I'm not a morning person. In the morning, I need coffee. I'm that person that needs coffee. They know me in my office, coffee stand or whatever. They will tell, they know me, I will show up and I'll say, extra strong coffee. Can I have a double espresso? Because I'm one of those people, I need coffee in the morning. Nevertheless, the morning is my strongest time because my brain is fresh. I might not be a morning person, but your brain is at its sharpest after a good night rest. So you should always tackle the hardest things first. Get them out of the way. Do the hardest work first. Start that document, start that report, start that review, start that account balancing you are doing, start that code you are writing, start that project, start that letter, whatever it is that is hardest, do it first. Do it first. Start it early and do it first. Then you can go to other things later in the day. Focus on your strength. Lean into them. What you are not good at is really not your business. Honestly. And I apply this to my kids as well. What you are not good at is not what you want to focus on. You want to focus on your strength. Know those strengths and lean into it. At work, I'm always aiming to push everything into a storytelling situation. I want us to tell it as a story. I will do it either as a presentation, as a PowerPoint. That's me. That's my strength. Okay, I've tried to turn the volume up so that you can hear me now. I aim to push things into my strength. If you are somebody who is great at running, every opportunity to turn a competition into a running competition, you will turn it into a running competition. If you're somebody who is great at swimming, every decision ask us to decide it in the pool. Let's swim a lap. Let's see who is going to win. You have to lean into your strength. That is one productivity hack that has really worked for me. Lean into your strength. What you are not good at, not your business. That's not what you are going to focus on. You focus on what you are good at. What do you mean no audio? Can we hear me now? Can we hear me now? Can I get excuse me. Can I get confirmation that we can hear me? Can somebody just confirm that you can hear me? Because somebody said no audio. So I'm concerned because I've been talking for a few minutes and I want to be sure that we can all hear me. Okay, super. Okay, good stuff. You can hear me. Super. Okay, good. So I was saying that you need to focus on your strengths. You need to lean into your strengths. Your weaknesses are not your business. That's not your business. Yes, everybody is telling you you should ask what your weaknesses are and you work on them. We focus too much on our weaknesses. Focus on your strengths. What are you good at? That's what you're going to focus on. That's what you're going to work on. That's what you're going to lean into. You're going to lean into your strength. Finish what you start. Always finish what you start. It's a requirement. Once I start something, I sit through it, I finish it. No distraction. You have to finish what you start. There's a particular productivity hack that when I say it, a lot of people disagree, but I stand by it. It's a hill I die on. Multitasking is overrated. Multitasking is overrated. If you are doing something, finish it before you do another one. Do things one after the other. Do things one after the other. I don't do them together because it's overrated. You will end up messing it up. You will end up doing something shabbily. I know we are not seeking perfection, but we want to finish. So we do things one after the other. As much as possible, avoid multitasking when you are trying to achieve something or trying to get something done. Break large tasks into smaller chunks. So I said earlier that when you do your to-do list, you need to make sure that a daily to-do list includes things that you can finish in a day. And a weekly to-do list includes things that you can finish in a day. So that's the whole idea of breaking large tasks into smaller chunks. What are the small chunks that you can do in one day? That's what you're putting into the to-do list for that day. What are the chunks that you can finish in that week? That's what you're pushing into the to-do lists in that week. I'll give you an example. I told myself that in 2025, I want to read 60 books. I want to read 60 books. Now, 60 books sounds like a lot, but by the time I broke it down into quarters and I broke it down into smaller chunks, it's just 5 books in January. Have I read 5 books in January? Yes, I have. Because I broke it down into smaller chunks. So you need to break your large task, your large to-dos into smaller chunks. It will make you more productive. Also, you need to stop over-promising or under-promising. For a long time, I followed the concept of under-promise, over-deliver. You know, you promise that I will do 2 things, then you end up doing 5. But a lot of research has shown that when you under-promise and over-deliver, people don't actually appreciate it because you've lowered their expectation. You've told them that this is a little that you can do. So when you do more, they're asking themselves, is it a fluke? Or did she do more by mistake? Did he do more by mistake? Or will it happen again? Does he know what he's even doing? Or is it a one-off? They're not expecting it because you've already under-promised. You've lowered their expectation. You've pre-disappointed them. So 50% of the time they found that when you under-promise and over-deliver, it doesn't leave your people with a positive experience. At the same time, you should not over-promise because we already know that one. We don't over-promise and under-deliver because you're just going to ruin everything. Promise and deliver what you can do. Promise exactly what you can do and then deliver what you can do. That is a huge success hack for me. That's a huge productivity hack for me. I tell my boss, I will deliver your training to 50 people. I target 50 people. I target 55 people. I go for 50. I end up delivering what I promised. Then you come across as a person of your word. But if you promise, I will deliver 10 and you deliver 50. Over efficiency. Didn't she say she was going to do 10? Where did she find the extra 44? Was it even a quality delivery? Or she's not good at planning her time? Or she's not good at predicting what she can do? Do you understand? So it's very important that you promise and deliver exactly what you said you would deliver. I mentioned earlier that you should learn to, you should not multitask. You should learn to focus on a few things at a time. Your to-do list should not have more than 5 items. That's one thing I swear by. 5 items, at most 6 if you're feeling special. Have a short to-do list. Tick them off as you do. You feel fulfilled at the end of the day. You've done them all. Because if you have a to-do list of 10 things and you only do 3, it makes you feel less. It makes you feel like you're not good enough. You haven't achieved. You didn't do well today. Another day that we didn't succeed. Now, wow. But if you have a to-do list of 5 items and you do all 5, Odoguma, star girl, you are happy with yourself. You want to come back the next day and do another 5 things. And if you can knock off 5 must-dos every day, it's really productive. There's nothing to procrastinate. You've done the 5 important things for that day. You can even finish your day earlier because you've done your 5 things. You deserve a break now. You deserve a rest because you've done the 5 must-dos that you need to do and you're done with it for the day. Listen well. Focus on the person that is speaking to you when you listen. Don't listen with the plan of saying your own point. No, listen. Actually listen to what they are saying, to understand, so that you can solve a problem. It's a great productivity hack. Very important to listen. Consider where the person is coming from. Consider their background. Consider their context in everything that you do. It allows you to be more productive in your responses, in how you provide solutions, in how you say no or say yes to people, and in how you delegate. Because when you listen properly, you will know if you are dealing with something that it needs to be you doing it, or it needs to be somebody else doing it, or it needs to be something that you do collaboratively, or it needs to be something that you just need to ignore completely. So it's very important that you take listening as a productive act. You need to learn how to listen. You need to make time for yourself to relax, to rest, to recharge. You cannot keep pouring out of an empty cup. So you need to rest, you need to relax. If it's a weekend thing, you relax. I try as much as possible not to take work home, so that on weekends I'm doing my own thing like this, or I'm chilling out with my family, or I'm just sleeping, or I'm just relaxing. It's very important that you relax and you recharge, so that you are ready for the new week, when you are ready to take on the new week. Now, mental overload. This is something that ruins productivity for a lot of us. We are constantly carrying around activities in our heads that we need to do. Oh, my child is turning 10, I need to plan that party. Oh, my husband is turning 45, I need to plan that party. Oh, I need to register for that school. Oh, I have to pay for that activity. Oh, I need to pick up laundry from the laundromat. We need to do shopping. I need to do. You have all those activities in your head. They're not going to get done. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to get stressed. Why? Because you have mental overload. So cultivate the habit of writing everything down. Once you write them down that they need to be done, you leave them out of your head. You are not carrying them in your head. Write it down. Write it down on a list, piece of paper, notebook, carry it around with you. One, you are not forcing yourself to try to remember those things. You are not stressing over the fact that you are going to forget them. 3, they are carried around with you so that you can look at them again and remind yourself of what needs to be done. And then you can decide where you want to put them on your to-do list. Or you can decide what activity you need to put on your to-do list to action those things that you have written down as things that need to be done at some point in your life. Get yourself a mentor. Honestly, I cannot overemphasize this. A lot of people will say, I can do it all, I don't need it. You do. We all need mentors, because they give a different perspective to things. They talk you through things. They will validate ideas that you have. They will confirm things to you that you're thinking about or you're considering. Sometimes they will give you an objective perspective, just to remind you that, this thing you are considering, my darling, I don't think, bearing in mind that you do this and you do this and that you really want to do that too, they will give you that objective perspective. Of course, you have to choose your mentors carefully. You cannot be mentored by somebody who doesn't have something that you desire in any sense. So if you are looking for career mentorship, you will have to be mentored by somebody who has succeeded in their career, or is succeeding, or is having some form of success, whatever that definition of success is for you. So it doesn't mean that the person is senior extremely. It could be like somebody who has navigated a particular space that you wish you could navigate as well, or somebody who has mastered something that you wish you could master as well. Then they mentor you. Then they can talk to you about how they've done it, their challenges, their experiences. They can provide insights for you in that space. Now, one productivity hack that I also like to talk about is sponsors. Get yourself a sponsor in the job that you are doing right now, because it's not how hard you work, it's how smart you work. And if there's nobody in the room, in rooms that you can't enter at work, who is talking about you, who is recommending you for spaces, you're not doing it smart. Even if you're a business owner, get a sponsor. Get somebody who can mention your name in places, or get somebody who can give you references, who can do things for you, somebody who is rooting for your success in the industry or company or where you operate. You need to have a sponsor. So your mentor is one, your sponsor is another. Your sponsor is a sort of mentor, but they are also fighting your corner. Plan for things to go wrong and make contingency plans. A lot of us don't make contingency plans. We are very trusting of systems, of processes. We just assume it's going to be okay. Make contingency plans. Your emergency fund is a contingency plan. This is a productivity hack. I know it may not sound like it, but it is. Because you are more productive when you know what the next step is. If this happens, this is what I will do. If that one happens, this is what I will do. Stand up when walking. Stand up when answering the phone. This one was a productivity hack I actually picked up from a recruiter friend that said to me, they can tell when somebody sits down to answer an interview. If you're doing an interview, stand up. If it's on the phone, stand up. If you sit down You sound okay, you know. If you stand up, you sound energetic, you sound vibrant, you sound powerful. Stand up to answer interviews, stand up to do interviews. Don't do your interviews sitting down. And it's good for you to do some work standing up. You know, sitting down, they say, is the new smoking. So stand up to get work done. Because you are standing, it also helps you to get on with it. You are more focused because you are not sitting down relaxed, you know, checking a bit of Daily Mail, reading a bit of Google, reading a bit of Google News, and then coming back to do your work. No, you are standing up. You want to get things done. So a lot of times at work, I stand up, especially in the mornings. I use a standing desk and I stand up for like 45 minutes. Then I sit down for a few minutes, then I stand up again, then I sit down, and I go through a whole stand up, sit down process, because I found out that my own attention span is about 30 to 45 minutes. So I stand up, and then once I'm getting out of that space, I sit down, or I go and grab a cup of coffee, come back again, I stand up, I sit down, and I go through that whole process. So it's important that you are standing up and sitting down, and standing up and sitting down as you are doing your work. Now, make learning a priority. It's a productivity hack. When I told you that I read 5 books this month, none of them was fiction. They were all learning materials. You need to learn. You need to know what's going on out there in the world. You need to know what other people are thinking. You need to know what research is being carried out. Learn. It will make you a more productive person. It will make you a more valuable person. It will be reflected in the work that you do if you're learning and reading new things. Learning is also learning new tools. You are learning how to use tools that enhance your work, that make your work faster. If you know a tool that improves PowerPoint, if you know that you can download Grammarly, so that Grammarly improves your writing in Word, your work will be sleek. You won't be making grammar errors because Grammarly will underline everything and show you that this sentence is not flowing, this paragraph is not flowing, because you have Grammarly. That's a tool. There are AI tools now that will answer your questions. Use them. Use them. Organize your laptop screen. Some of you, your laptop screen looks as if it's the devil's work because there are single documents all over your laptop, 200 documents, and if you're looking for something, you are searching, and you're very proud of the fact that you know how to find things. No, put your documents in folders. Have folders on your desktop that have different things in them, so that if you know that you're looking for something, there are just 5 or 6 folders on your desktop. It's easier for you to find things instead of having 200 things on your desktop and you're searching and searching and searching, because that also impacts your productivity and prevents you from being a fast worker. Don't burn out. Slow and steady wins the race. You know, a lot of us start our careers in our 20s, somewhere between the age of 21 and 27. Our careers kick off. You finish your education most of the time. Between the ages of 21 and 27, you're done with university and you start your first job. And it means a lot of us are going to work for about 40 years, give or take. 40, that's a long time. It means that you need to go slow and steady. You don't hustle, you don't overdo it, you don't work 14 hours every day because you want to achieve. I mean, sometimes you might need to work long hours for specific purposes, but it's not something that you must maintain repeatedly day in, day out, because you will burn out. As somebody who has burnt out before, I can tell you, you will burn out. And when you burn out, the recovery process can be quite hard. So it's important that you are going slow and steady. Your weekends are your weekends. Monday to Friday, give of yourself. Weekend, close that laptop, take time off. There's nothing exciting about sending emails on Saturday. That's the new stupid, because it just looks like you don't know your job. You don't, what do you do during the week? If you are still sending work emails on Saturday evenings and Sunday mornings, you're just pissing people off and making enemies. So as much as possible, do your work Monday to Friday and let it be done. If you have an email that you must send on a weekend because you want the person to get it first thing on Monday, you can schedule it. You can set it up to go 8 a.m. on Monday, 8:30. Sometimes if I want to pressure people, I will arrange 10 emails, different emails, everything is going on, but it doesn't go to them before 8:30 a.m. on Monday, 8:30 a.m. on Monday. It goes out. And even though I'm still setting up and still drinking coffee, emails are going on my behalf because I've switched on my laptop. So it's very important that you manage your time and manage yourself so that you don't burn out, because we are going to be in the workspace for like 40 years and we need to make sure that we don't lose interest 10 years in and start saying, oh, I'm tired, I don't know what to do, you know, and all of that. Know when to switch off. Have downtime each day. There's no need for you to work on holiday. You will see, some of you will carry your laptop while I'm in Spain. I'm working. Yes, I know entrepreneurship sometimes forces you into that space where you can't, or you struggle to switch off, but you must try to switch off. Leave work at work, leave personal issues at home, and get on with your work when you need to get on with your work. Now, I think one thing I want to leave you with is that you should know if you are a morning person or an evening person and work with your circadian rhythm. And what I mean by that is that if you know your natural pattern, it's easier for you to plan yourself. You know what you have energy for in the mornings and what you have energy for in the afternoon. If you are not a morning person, then you are probably not somebody who will prefer to socialize in the evenings. If you're a morning person, then you probably want to have meetings in the morning. You want to start your day earlier. You know, some people tell you that you should start your day at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. It's easy if you're a morning person. If you're not a morning person, forget all that 5 a.m. thing. Start your day at 6:30 or 7 a.m. and get on with it. There's no need for you to start at 5 a.m. because the whole world is starting at 5 a.m. because it's not working with your circadian rhythm. Your body is not awake. Your body is still in the cycle of sleep, and you'll just be angry and miserable at that time of the day. So it's important that you know your circadian rhythm and work with it. Some organizations work culture first, they work during holidays. So apart from essential workers like doctors, nurses, or people who do shift work, who then have to work on holidays, or there's a planned holiday schedule, you should never tolerate an organization that forces you to work on holidays. I've worked in management consulting, which is probably some of the most hectic, high pressure environments that you can work. And when you work in those places, you need to learn to push back. You need to learn to push back. The manager that's trying to get you to work on weekends is probably an inefficient manager himself or herself, and it's okay for you to say, why are we doing this over the weekend? I will come back to it on Monday, blah, blah, blah. It's okay to push back. And if you see that pushing back is not working, maybe it's time for you to move into a different industry or into a different organization. Like I've said to you before, you're not a tree. You're not a tree. If something is not working for us, if an organization is not working for you, you change. It's not matter this company. So I have no reason to give you my weekends because at the end of the day, you're not going to manage my health for me when my health starts to crash. So I need to take care of my body. I need to prioritize myself over your business. So if you're making me work on weekends, it's time for me to dust my CV and see what else is out there that I can pick up for myself. Because when the organization wants to let you go, they're not going to be emotional about it. They will let you go. When your health starts to fail and you start to have sick time off for stress, they will let you go because they will decide at that point that I'm no longer of value to them. So it's very important that you prioritize yourself over the needs of any organization. You're not a tree. And there's always somebody out there who wants to buy your skill set. Dust your CV, put it out there and see what's in the marketplace. And until then, you endure, you push back until you can get out and go to a place where there is more work-life balance. I think we have used up about 30 minutes. And I think I have shared, yes, we have used 30 minutes. And I think I have shared 20 or a little over 20 productivity hacks that have worked for me, that have helped me in my life, that have helped me to navigate workplaces for the past 20 years, give or take a few months. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found them useful. I hope you're going to use some of them. I hope you're going to go ahead and be more productive in the next few months. And thank you very much for joining my life. I'm going to run off and have time with family. Day 25. Thank you. God bless you. And take care. Have a lovely rest of the weekend. Bye-bye.